I'd like to call order the Board of Elections meeting. Please stand, pledge allegiance. You're standing in silence. I just would father of our Veterans Department, Belinda's father was hit and passed away yesterday. And while in your moment of silence, if you
Time we'd like any public input for on agenda items only. Hearing none, a motion is needed to approve and dispense with the reading of the minutes of the August 7, 2018 Election Board meeting.
motion,
Second.
question. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Motion is needed to ratify the following reports as listed on the agenda.
Have a motion? Second. Question. Say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
At this time, we call for any old business. None. Call for new business.
Can I ask a question just to clarify under new business? And because you're here, Alicia, I got an email, I guess late last week, about maybe it's CCAP's ruling or there was a settlement about the machines. Can you just tell me what that means for us in consideration of those?
I did not read it yet, and only because we're still standing proposals.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I actually was at CCAP at the time that was brought up. CCAP at that time, there was almost a commissioner from every county in the state there. Their proposal was to go to the governor and not only request for more money, but also request to put off the purchasing of the new machines until 2020. And Joe Prance is one of the guys that was on that committee. Tomorrow I have CEDACOG. I was going to bring that up at CEDACOG because I don't think they have come to a definite resolve for that yet. I think this governor has agreed to pay more towards the machines, but I didn't see anything about extending it to the 2020 to buy them. So I will mention that to Joe tomorrow. And he's on the committee that went to the governor, and I think we'll know more about it then.
And just by way of background for folks who aren't familiar with, there's been a mandate, as there often is, from the state to help offset that, but that
the issue at the meeting, of course, was that not only do counties have machines that are workable, but some counties just purchased machines. And to put out $1 million or whatever to buy new machines, it was a big concern of a lot of the commissioners there. And I know they had a committee that was going to go and negotiate with the governor, and I'll find out more about that tomorrow, Alicia, and let you know.
Just to let you know, before they started pushing to get more money, we were only going to get $14,000. And yeah, and the machines that we were looking at, they were almost $1 million. And I think even trading in our old machines for the new machines, you're still looking at $700,000 to $900,000. And of course, that's a big concern when you're at budget time. So that's why I brought it up. Thanks.
Yeah, there wasn't a decision made yet, and I know they're talking about 50% of the cost now. They're trying to negotiate that. So I'll know more tomorrow from Joe, and I'm,
Is that what that court order was about?
Forced mediation or settlement.
yeah, I think it's just basically saying that they did meet with whoever from the county commissioners, CCAP, and that they're coming up with some help. But again, I don't think that's over because that was just CCAP 2 weeks ago. So I don't think they have they're done negotiating yet.
But as of right now, are we still on the?
As of right now, I assume we are, but when I was at that meeting, everybody said to hold off just because they think we have enough clout, all the counties, to try to come up to a better solution. And I don't know what that solution is yet. That's the CCAP committee that's going to decide on that with the governor.
We're still wrapping up, but.
So, we didn't put any, right, Steve? There's nothing in the budget for those.
Right, correct.
Nothing.
Right. Nothing. Which that can be obviously added.
Right.
If we don't know for sure if we have to buy them, well, there's no reason to put anything in the budget until we know. And we'll know that eventually.
Time do we have a call for any public input?
Okay, yes, then we'll recess to the regular meeting, public meeting.
Call to order the public meeting of the commissioners. And is there citizen input on agenda items?
Motions need to approve and dispense with the reading of the minutes of the Commissioners' public meeting held on Tuesday, November 13th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Question? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Motions need to pay all county and liquid fuels payrolls as submitted by the Human Resource Office for payroll number 23 in the amount of $754,272.19, and payroll number 24 in the amount of $752,143.02.
So moved.
Second.
Question?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motions need to pay all county and liquid fuel bills as submitted by the county controller in the amount of $3,201,890.50 from November 10th, 2018 to November 30th, 2018.
Second.
Question?
Aye.
Announcements. The next regular public meeting will be held Thursday, December 27th, 2018 at 1 p.m. in the public meeting room at the Administration Center, 399 Stadium Drive, Sunbury. A work session will be held on Tuesday, December 18th at 2018, beginning at 10 a.m. in the Commissioners' Conference Room. And the Northumberland County Courthouse, Administration Center, and related county facilities will be closed on Tuesday, December 25th, 2018, in observance of the Christmas Day holiday. A motion is needed to approve the employee status sheet list of new hires, individuals no longer employed, promotions, demotions, and transfers as items number 1 through 21.
It's number 6.
If we could remove number 6 from that one.
Announcements.
From the hiring. Then we'll do
Oh, I'm
from the
sorry.
sheet.
Oh.
We'll have an initial vote on all but 6. All but number
Motion for-
6.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Made and seconded. On the question?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion is needed to approve the employee status sheet of new hires, individuals no longer employed, promotions, demotions, transfers. Item number.
Can the motion? Question?
On the question, I'm just going to say that I'm going to abstain from this because Gino Chicatano, who does not spell his name like mine, is my cousin's son who evidently got hired as a correctional officer, and I will abstain from that for that reason.
Motion's been made second. Aye. Any opposed?
Abstain.
Motion needed to approve the following reports as listed on your public meeting agenda.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Motion is needed to approve the 2019 proposed budget for Northumberland County, general fund and all funds, and advertise it according to law. The proposed budget will be advertised and made available for public inspection for 20 days, in compliance with the county code, with the intent to adopt the final budget at a future public meeting of the Northumberland County Commissioners.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made, seconded on the question.
Just have a few comments. I want to say that the last two budgets I haven't voted for because I felt they were not close to accurate. This one, I did meet with the controller and the budget director for an afternoon, and we went over it, and I was pleasantly surprised that it was probably the most realistic budget that was put in front of me. My only issues with it were consideration of the voting machines, which we addressed here today. The fact that I looked at the new prison budget, which is sort of a guess at this point. I felt comfortable with the information that our fiscal director was using to come up with that number. In other words, I didn't think there was anything missing or flawed. It's just that my gut tells me that it's going to be a little bit over that. It's just a concern I have, but it's not wildly, off target. I was more concerned about how much the prison is going to cost to run in consideration with our overall budget and our inability we're getting to the limit of where we can tax. And let me explain. The prison budget has gone from, what is it, Steve, 4 million, and this was back before the fire, 4.3 million to now we're budgeting about 6. And there's a committee form that's gonna watch that just because we can't estimate. So you're looking at almost a $2 million difference, okay? If you look at our overall budget amount, the only reason that this draft budget balances is because a couple of months ago, there was just a little over 3 million borrowed. Had that money not been borrowed, this budget couldn't balance. My concern is that moving forward with operating costs with this prison, we are at 23.7 mils, somewhere, okay. And our max is only, we can't go above 25. So a mil is like 7.5, 700,000, something like that, okay. 750,000. So 23.7 and 25, you're looking at we're maxing out of our max, okay? About a $2 million, give or take, a couple $100,000. So what I'm saying in summary is, I'm looking at operating costs for a prison. That's a speculation, although I give credit to the numbers that he came up with, but it's still $2 million more than we're used to. This draft budget only balances because they borrowed $3 million. So going down the road, my concern is that we won't have the ability to continue to borrow to balance a budget for operating costs year after year after year. So I gave fair consideration to, everything, revenue, everything. And it's a good budget, but I cannot vote for it because I just can't vote for a budget that borrows money for working capital or operating expenses when I'm looking at a $2 million price tag to operate the facility out there. We did have some positive conversations about how, looking into this year, we're going to have to start looking at a revenue side, driving revenue, because that's going to be the only way that we continue to pay for these operating costs out there. And the prison board did put together a committee that's going to meet every month to try to watch the expenses very, very carefully so that it doesn't go above what is budgeted here. And I just want to reiterate, I'm very pleased with the way that he came up with the number. It was sound. He told me exactly how he projected that number. But at the end of the day, it's still about $2 million more than we're used to. So I just wanted to state those reasons. We're going to cap at 25 mil soon, and then where do we go from there? That's just a concern that I have.
Yeah, and then I have,
First, I have spent many hours with the warden on the cost of running the new facility, and he has, after we went over staffing and things, he has assured me that the cost to run the prison up there is almost exactly the same as it would have been if it would have been built here in Sunbury. So those operating costs would be pretty much exactly the same. The prison board also has put together a committee for the to check every month on the cost of what things are costing up there. It's a 1.7 difference from 2015. But one of the big differences, and again, I'm in negotiation with them, Prime Care, which at the time the old prison in 2015 was being run, was charging us $30,000 a month for our medical considerations at the prison. Prime Care is now charging us $91,000 a month for our consideration of medical assistance at our prison now. That would have been the same no matter where there was a prison. I have been talking with other commissioners. Some counties have decided to fund their medical themselves and hire their own people. I have requested with Prime Care, when we signed that, because we wanted to get the prison open, that we would have another negotiating session in December to try to negotiate that cost down, because that is a big reason that the difference from 2015 of $1,700,000 has changed to now, along with another thing that has been a big increase for us has been our medical expenses for our medical insurance, and that's something that when I was at CCAP, I also got a company that we're going to come on their own to look at our expenses on our health care and see if they could find why it has increased so much each year, and it was a big increase this year again, and see if there's ways that we could curtail that increase. So there are meetings set up with Prime Care. There are meetings set up with the prison board each month to keep an operation cost and see where we are each month. And also someone coming in to at least take a look at our health care insurance and see if there's any way that could be, not for this year anymore, but in the future, there's things we can do to help bring that cost down.
I just wanted to clarify a few things. One, with respect to the $3 million borrowing that was mentioned by Ms. Best. People who were here may recall that borrowing was done for a number of purposes. One was to complete the 911 project, which had been underfunded, and that frankly, when it was supposed to have been completed, was not operational in a way that was acceptable. They're also funded through that one-time, basically costs associated with the fire. And in fact, those had to be shown when we did the borrowing, had to be shown to the lenders to whom that were incurred catastrophic. Bridge that, if you remember back when the prior administration was in the last year they were in, there was a lot of headlines about how much money they were saving on insurance. Well, you get what you pay for, and frankly, they went with more cut rate policies, and ultimately, when we needed it, the funds were all of the extraordinary expenses, operational expenses that were incurred after having suffered the loss of the prison. So that was something that was made very clear at the time of the borrowing. We certainly, it was not taken to balance a budget, and it would not be anticipated that it would be needed in the future to balance. Would note as well that every budget that has been approved by this administration, we have ultimately ended the year with a surplus at the end of the year. So we have not had unrealistic budgets as has been portrayed. In fact, they were very realistic, and because we have attempted as a stewards
I just, another reminder, just if we're talking about any millage, if we would have decided to build that prison here and spent $12 to $14 million more, I don't know where we would have had to come up with the money. And those aren't my numbers saying that that's what it would have cost. Those are numbers that were out there, and I can tell you where you can find those numbers. And we saved from $12 to $14 million. Where would we have come up with that money? I have no idea. We would have had to definitely raise some type of taxes. But with this, we don't. And I want to commend, Steve and Chris and everyone who worked on the budget for their hard work. I met with them many times on it, and I appreciate their hard work.
Again, I want to reiterate, this has nothing to do with where the prison is. Right now, this is about how we're going to continue to pay operating costs, because operating costs go up every single year. And if you take a look at this draft budget, you will see that it would not have come out had they not borrowed money. So literally, there is money in this budget that we're paying interest for. Just like all the other surpluses. If you truly do have a surplus, you should pay down debt, because then you're not paying interest on it. Every single year, health costs are going to go up. Every single year, retirement and union and cost of living goes up while our tax base inches up slowly behind it. I'm simply pointing out that not this year, but in 2020, we're going to have a real problem, because the simple fact is, no matter how hard you work with the warden, no matter where the prison's located, no matter how great of a job you did or how many committees you have, it is on paper right now budgeted to cost us $2 million this year. And we only have $2 million more in millage till we cap out. I find that to be a very serious problem. And if you're just going to sit up here and tout your accolades rather than take a real hard look at the numbers, we're not going to be prepared.
Well, I'm not touting anything. I am, as I've had to do, frankly, since you've been in office, defend myself against baseless lies.
Numbers.
Well, I'll tell you what. Here's something that isn't. I was going to bring this up at the end of the meeting because, frankly, it needs to be addressed, but this might be a good time to do it so that people can put the comments of Ms. Best into perspective.
Is it about the budget?
No, it is about
not.
your tendency to lie and to create stories in an attempt to malign people's reputations. And basically, Ms. Best has started the rumor. She came in and asked our solicitor the other day whether or not, well, first of all, claiming I had some secret law office. I'm not sure how it's a secret when I have a sign out in front of it, but I had hired a woman who we just hired at the county as our assistant solicitor.
I didn't say those things. I
Our solicitor had to
asked
come
them.
to me and ask me, because certainly that
There's
would
a
be a
rumor
conflict.
all
Well,
over the bar.
And what I am hearing now, yes, and who
I did not start
busy
it.
bee is busy with something, because from what I understand, it's all over the courthouse
I did not
now,
start
too.
it, or I wouldn't have voted for her to work here.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Then why did I
Okay.
vote for her to work here?
Okay, well, because you didn't come in and say this until after the vote had already been taken. And the implication that she was trying to say is that I had had a
Frank,
conflict of interest.
did I ask the question or did I state it as a fact?
It was asked to me, and when it was asked to me, I was concerned. I thought there might be a potential problem if that were in fact the case. I had heard nothing of that rumor before, so I inquired with the chairman to see whether or not it was accurate. He said it was not. That was it for me.
Thank you. Did not start that rumor, Rick.
This is your MO, and it
Rick,
has been.
I did not start that rumor.
Okay, all right. At any rate, there has been a motion and a second. If there's anything further on the question. Okay, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Oppose.
One opposed, motion carries.
Motion needed to ratify the closing of all non-mandated county offices at 2 p.m. on Thanksgiving Eve, Wednesday, November 21st, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Question? All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Motions need to close all non-mandated county offices at 1 p.m. on Monday, December 24th, 2018, and Monday, December 31st, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Question? All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motions need to reappoint Barbara Moyer to the CEDACOG Board of Directors for a term beginning January 1st, 2019, and ending December 31st, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any
Motions needed to grant permission to advertise the following as listed on your public meeting agenda.
So moved.
Second.
question? Aye.
Aye.
Motions need to adopt the 2019 holiday schedule as listed on your public meeting agenda.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any
Motions need to adopt the 2019 Northumberland County pay schedule as submitted by the Human Resource Department.
So moved.
Second.
on the question?
Aye.
Aye.
Motions need authorizing payment of approximately $504,466.64 to retirees for health and welfare benefits for the year 2018 as submitted by the Controller's Office.
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
Aye.
Motions need to authorize payment of approximately $96,500 for the 2018 medical waivers as submitted by the Human Resource Department.
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
Aye.
Motions need to extend Resolution R number 141-15, Purchase a Service Agreement with Engineer Charles Hopta Jr. to December 31st, 2019, as previously adopted at the public meeting of December 1st, 2015.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? All in favor state
Aye.
Motions needed to reappoint Edward Cristiano to the Northumberland County Recreation Commission for a 5-year term beginning January 1st, 2019, and ending December 31st, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? All in favor state
Aye.
Motions need to reappoint Joseph Claybon to the Northumberland County Recreation Commission for a 4-year term beginning January 1st, 2019, and ending December 31st, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? All in favor state
Aye.
Aye.
Motions need to award Metro Flag Company at the lowest quote for the flags that are placed in the graves of veterans to honor them Memorial Day 2019.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motions need to reappoint William Geis as Farmer Director to the Northumberland County Agricultural Land Preservation Board for a 3-year term beginning January 1st, 2019, and ending December 31st, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motions need to reappoint Mary Crone as Farmer Director to the Northumberland County Agricultural Land Preservation Board for a 3-year term beginning January 1st, 2019, and ending December 31st, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motions need to appoint Richard Daniels as Farmer Chairman to the Northumberland County Agricultural Land Preservation Board for a 1-year term beginning January 1st, 2019, and ending December 31st, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motions need to appoint Lisa Hoover and Robert Hormel to the CEDACOG Joint Rail Authority for a 5-year term beginning January 1st, 2019, and ending December 31st, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Report?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motion to adopt Resolution R108-18, application to encumber liquid fuel tax funds between the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners on behalf of the Northumberland County Engineer and the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for replacement of bridge number 150 on T672 over Glade Run in Lewis Township.
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
Aye.
Motion to adopt Resolution 109-18, professional service agreement between the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners on behalf of the courts and Ann E. Diggin for reporting service.
Moved.
Second.
Question?
Aye.
Motion To adopt Resolution R-110-18, Professional Services Agreement between the Northumberland County Commissioners on behalf of the courts and John B. Onisi for court reporting services.
Moved.
Second. Aye.
Aye.
To adopt Resolution R-111-18, Professional Services Agreement between the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners on behalf of the courts and Dawn M. Sweely for court reporting services.
Moved.
Second.
Question?
Aye.
To adopt Resolution R-112-18, Commissioners' Budget Amendment as listed.
Moved.
Aye?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
One abstention. Motion carries.
Motion to adopt Resolution R-113-18, Agreements, Amendments, Revisions, Grants, Leases, and Reports between the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners on behalf of the Human, Senior, and Social Services and the named service providers as listed, numbers 1 through 4. The above agreements, amendments, revisions, grants, leases, and reports are not with county employees, nor does their organizational contract list county employees as principals in their corporation or on their board of directors.
So moved.
Second.
Question? Aye?
Aye.
Businesses come forward. None. Businesses come before. Public input. And I know there's been varying accounts given about this, but the offer to meet was also made a while back and still stands. And I mean, part of the reason why we've taken the position that we have is because we're talking about over $250,000 of what is something that don't need to get into the merits of the case, but I think everybody knows where it is. And certainly, I would be willing to have a conversation at this point. I think that at this point, we would probably need to have counsel involved as well in those conversations, since there is a litigation that's going on. But certainly, we can have the conversation.
And I just would like to comment that I appreciate you coming in, but I have myself, personally been meeting with some of the Cole Township commissioners, and actually have another meeting with one of them this week, that I've been trying to work this out for months. And you probably know this, Mr. Slaby, and I would like to stop at 2. I do have a meeting this week. Maybe something can be done there with me and the other one the other commissioner that's going to meet. But if not, we could maybe somewhere in the future get together. Thank you. Yep.
Other public input? Okay, seeing, I'll make a motion to adjourn.